Well, I see. I'm so glad you're alive. Samantha said this as she gently hugged the small child. I had taken in and raised an orphan for certain reasons. Blood relations didn't matter. I raised her as if she were my own daughter. However, there was a shocking connection between my daughter and Samantha from work. Seeing her quietly shed tears while lovingly stroking the child's head, I too had to hold back my tears. My name is Kyle Oakes. I work as an apprentice chef at a small restaurant in town. In my sophomore year of high school, it was the same restaurant where my best friend treated me to a meal for my birthday. I was so moved by the beef stew I had for the first time that I applied for a part-time job the next day. Although I was initially turned down because they weren't hiring, my enthusiasm must have come through, and I was allowed to start as a dishwasher. After graduating high school, I was hired as a full-time employee. Now, I am gradually being entrusted with cooking tasks and spend my days busily. I don't know my parents. I grew up in an orphanage from as far back as I can remember, and after graduating high school, I rented an apartment near the restaurant. Even though I didn't have parents, I never particularly felt lonely or sad. The staff at the orphanage were very kind and my friends were great. There were curious people, but I had such close friends that it didn't bother me. One of them was Tom. We grew up in the same orphanage, were the same age, and got along exceptionally well. We did everything together from a young age, attended the same schools through middle and high school, and even now as adults. We see each other often. After graduating high school, Tom worked at a car repair shop. He loved cars since childhood and was good with machines, so he found his perfect job and enjoyed his work every day. We both loved our jobs and supported each other in different fields, working hard together. Tom had a girlfriend since high school. Her name was Melissa, and she was sweet and kind. They got married after Melissa graduated from college. 2 years later, they had a lovely daughter, and they seemed to be at the peak of happiness. After Tom's daughter Christina was born, we couldn't meet as often as before, but Tom always looked happy. And I felt like I was sharing in his happiness. Christina even called me Kai after my name. Maybe she just looked forward to the cookies and cakes I brought. I never imagined that such happiness could vanish in an instant. I received the news on a rainy morning. When I turned on my phone after work, there was a call from an unknown number. When I answered, a raspy male voice spoke. "Excuse me, is this Kyle's phone?" "Yes, this is Kyle. I am Melissa's father. It seems my daughter was taken care of by you." "Oh." Melissa's father. "What happened? Is something wrong?" Hearing the strained and exhausted voice of Melissa's father, I had a bad feeling and raised my voice anxiously. Melissa's father then told me in a pained voice. Melissa and Tom were in a car accident, they didn't make it. The shock was so great that I couldn't even speak. Melissa's father calmly gave me the details of the funeral, and I managed to respond before hanging up. I don't remember much after that. I informed my boss, Ryan, and got permission to take about 3 days off. Their funeral was held at a small venue since Tom had no family. They contacted me because I was close to Tom and knew Melissa and Christina. "Tom often talked about you, Kyle. He said you were very kind. He mentioned that you gave cakes for Melissa's and Christina's birthdays. And they were very happy. He always spoke proudly about you as his best friend. He wanted to bring the family to your restaurant, but now..." Melissa's father broke down, unable to hold back his sobs. I couldn't hold back my tears either, my handkerchief was already soaked. It was pitiful, but every time I saw their smiling portraits, countless memories flashed through my mind, and the tears wouldn't stop. Why did this happen? It's too soon. If I let my guard down, I felt like I might scream and cry out loud. As I struggled to hold it in, I saw Christina in the arms of an elderly woman, probably Melissa's mother. "Daddy and Mommy, why aren't they waking up?" "Sweetie, Daddy and Mommy have been called by God in heaven. They won't wake up anymore." "Why?" "No. Wake up, Daddy. Mommy." Christina's cries of no only deepened the sadness. I could hear the sound of sobbing all around the venue. Unable to bear Christina's pure grief, I cried even more. I must have cried too much, my head ached. After the funeral ended and the mourners had left, I stayed, staring at their portraits. They were hit by a car that ran a red light while crossing a pedestrian crossing. It was their first outing alone in a long time, having left their child with her grandparents. Such a tragedy struck them. Melissa's parents cherished her, especially since she was born later in their lives, and they also cared deeply for Tom. Kyle. When I turned around at the sound of my name, I saw Melissa's father. He looked exhausted, but his concern for the mourners showed his kind nature. "I'm sorry. It's just hard to say goodbye." "It's okay. We feel the same." With a limp, he slowly walked towards me. "My wife and I can't come to terms with this. We are overwhelmed by what lies ahead." "I see." Sitting on a nearby chair, he sighed and began to speak. "I can't use my left side, so I can't even lift my grandchild. My wife has health issues too, so we decided to move into a nursing home." "What? Then, what about Christina?" "We decided to place her in an orphanage. We don't have any relatives." "I know it's a selfish request. But could you please visit Christina from time to time? She seems to be fond of you." "Of course. But the thought of Christina going into an orphanage pained me. Having grown up in an orphanage myself, I didn't think it was a bad place. But suddenly being separated from her parents and grandparents would be incredibly lonely. And with her grandparents in a nursing home, they wouldn't be able to see her often. Is this really the best solution? Would Tom want his family to be separated like this?" I want to take Christina in." The words surprised even me. But they felt natural. Tom was like a brother to me. And Christina was precious to me too. I might not seem reliable, but I genuinely care for Christina. Tom was like a brother to me, so she's like my niece. I don't want her to be lonely. Please?" I asked deeply. Melissa's father looked confused, unsure of how to respond. "I ended up living with Christina. She wanted it that way. However, it was decided that the adoption process would be put on hold for a while. Living with a young child was much more challenging than I had imagined. Every day, I was reminded that she was a completely different being from an adult like me. "Kai, can you tie my hair? Make it cute, okay? Christina, you're cute no matter what. Maybe we don't need to tie it?" "No. I want a ribbon." Even at 4 years old, she had a strong sense of girlish pride. Sometimes, she would cry her heart out and go to preschool in her pajamas if her favorite clothes were being washed. She had to bring a lunch to preschool every day. Christina had food allergies, so I had to be very careful about what she ate. Checking ingredient labels on store-bought food became a habit. It's times like these when I'm glad I'm a cook. The hardest part, though, was bedtime. At night, she seemed to remember her parents. Sometimes she would wake up in the middle of the night and start crying. "Mommy, Daddy." I would hold her, pat her back, and sing a clumsy lullaby. Even if the tune was off, hearing it seemed to comfort her. Putting her to sleep this way became our nightly routine. One morning, after many nights like this, I woke up with a headache and dizziness. Probably because I had been up late soothing Christina again. I figured it was just lack of sleep and downed a black coffee. Unfortunately, I didn't have any medicine at home. I thought I should start keeping some, just in case Christina ever got sick. With these thoughts in mind, I started my morning routine. I somehow managed to drop Christina off at preschool and headed to work, but as soon as Ryan saw me, he looked shocked. "Kyle, you look terrible. Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine. Probably just tired." "Didn't you mention you're taking care of a little kid? Are you getting enough sleep?" "Well, it's been okay, more or less. If something's wrong, let me know, okay?" "Kyle? Hey. Are you all right?" Ryan's deep voice started sounding distant. By the time I realized something was wrong, my vision had blacked out. When I came to, I was staring at an unfamiliar ceiling. Sitting up, I realized I was in a hospital. I must have collapsed. The clock showed it was past noon. "Oh, Kyle, you're awake?" Looking into my face was Samantha, the daughter of the restaurant owner I work for. "Let me call the nurse." I watched her press the nurse call button in a daze. With her short hair and lively demeanor, Samantha worked as the pastry chef at the restaurant. She didn't resemble her bear-like father, Ryan, but their personalities were very similar, both caring and exuberant. Despite their bold natures, Ryan crafted dishes with delicate flavors and beautiful presentation. And Samantha's intricate decorations on desserts were a hit with regular customers. How are you feeling? Your color looks better. I feel more refreshed than this morning. Maybe because I slept? Yes, it seems you were exhausted and sleep deprived. I'm glad it wasn't anything serious. You're taking care of a little one, right? Is it tough? Well, it's a bit challenging. She cries at night and needs attention with her meals. I see. The restaurant's been busy lately, too. I was worried you might be overdoing it. You've been working on new recipes, too. Do you have time for that? I usually work on them after she goes to bed. What time did you go to bed last night? Close to dawn, I guess. Samantha sighed deeply in exasperation. Listen, if you ruin your health, it won't do any good, will it? If you end up hospitalized, who will take care of her? Have you thought about that? Samantha's words jolted me. If I collapsed, Christina would be left alone again. I took her in to prevent that, but I was about to add to her pain instead. Kyle, my parents, and I were worried about you. Please rely on us if things get tough. Fortunately, our restaurant is family-run, so we can be flexible. We can even look after her during the day. But I can't trouble you with my problems. It's not a bother. Children have always been raised with the help of surrounding adults. Take a rest today. Her words and smile made me feel a bit lighter. At that moment, there was a knock on the hospital room door. Kai. Christina burst into the room. Kai, does it hurt? Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm all better now. Good. Christina clung to me tightly, not wanting to let go. Christina was very worried. It was Ryan's wife who spoke. She had apparently picked Christina up from preschool. Thank you for worrying about me, Christina. Kai, you're not going anywhere, right? You're not leaving? Christina looked at me with tear-filled eyes, full of anxiety. What was I doing? Working myself to the bone only made her worry more. Samantha was right. I gently hugged Christina and slowly patted her head. I'm not going anywhere. I promise. I'll be more careful from now on. With that, Christina hugged me even tighter. Kyle, can I ask you something? Samantha's tone changed to one of deep thought. She seemed troubled and serious. What are Christina's parents' names? Tom and Melissa. As soon as I said that, Samantha's eyes filled with tears, and she collapsed to the floor, crying. Samantha? What's wrong? I was at a loss, unable to do anything but worry. Christina moved away from me and went over to Samantha, patting her head. Are you okay? If I pat you, your tears will stop. Thank you, Christina. Samantha hugged Christina. Not knowing what to do, I looked at Ryan's wife, who gave me a troubled smile. Mom, can I tell him? Samantha asked her mother, who nodded quietly in agreement. Samantha wiped her tears and looked at me. The truth is, I'm not related to my parents by blood. They took me in when I was a child. I had a younger brother. We were told we were taken in by different families, but we lost contact and I never knew where he was. His name was Tom. Christina's father. What? Is that true? Yes. Christina looks just like my younger brother. I was unsure, but hearing the name confirmed it. Yes, it's true. I'm so glad you're alive. She said this as she gently hugged Christina. Seeing her lovingly stroke Christina's head while quietly crying made me want to cry too, but I held back. Kyle, I want to take in Christina. What? What are you saying? I might be related to Christina by blood. I have a responsibility. No, we don't know that for sure. Even if you are, I'm Christina's guardian now. I've known her since she was born. And I promised her I wouldn't go anywhere. I'm not leaving her. Kyle. Both of you, calm down. It's still early since Christina came to Kyle's place, and changing her environment now isn't a good idea. Let's all think about what would be the best for Christina. Both Samantha and I agreed with her words. After that, I started bringing Christina to the restaurant. Before, she would stay at preschool until the very last moment, but now, from 6 p.m., she stayed at Ryan's house with his wife. She also went there on weekends when I had work, and Ryan's wife would look after her. Christina, you are such an angel. Today, I'll make you a special kids plate. Ryan was completely smitten with Christina. Despite being built like a bear, any semblance of dignity disappeared when he was around her. It wasn't just Ryan. All the senior staff were also smitten with Christina. They all tried their best to get Christina to remember their names. Although they were all acting strange, Christina was rarely lonely because someone was always nearby, and she started crying less at night. Just when Christina was getting used to everyone at the restaurant, a small incident occurred. Christina had an allergic reaction to some snacks a friend had given her. Thankfully, it wasn't severe, but seeing her mouth turn red sent chills down my spine. Christina is allergic to eggs and dairy products. This means she can't eat most store-bought sweets. While I was careful, I understood her desire to eat the same things as her friends. Why does it make me itchy when I eat it? All I could do was pat her head as she tearfully asked. Kyle, you mentioned you made cakes for Christina's birthdays. How did you do it without eggs and dairy products? After work that day, Samantha asked me. With genuine curiosity as a pastry chef. I made them at home, so it wasn't anything special. I used pancake mix and soy milk for the batter. And there's a store-bought soy whip for the cream. Kyle, that's impressive. Going to such lengths for Christina. Some of the senior staff gathered, having overheard our conversation. So, what about bread? Sometimes Christina eats bread, right? I bake that too. French bread and baguettes often don't contain dairy products or eggs, but they're too hard for her to eat. So I make it with olive oil and soy milk. I usually cook at home so the food is generally safe, but she sometimes wants to eat things like omelets. Christina's birthday is coming up, and I'm thinking about the party. Is her birthday soon? Let's have the party here then. Ryan won't say no for Christina. I was stunned by my senior's suggestion. I'll handle the cake. I'll make a big decorated one without eggs or dairy products. I'll bake the bread. Honestly, I'm better at bread making than you. So Kyle, you make Christina's favorite dish. It's the right person for the right job. The oldest senior put a hand on my shoulder. Christina wanted to eat an omelet. Could I make one without eggs? I'll also make her favorite steak. I'll try making corn soup without milk. I want to see Christina's happy face with a special menu just for her. Thinking about it made my heart race. I began working on the birthday dinner. Since Christina was being looked after, I could use the restaurant kitchen for my preparations. Samantha was helping too. Omelet is the hardest, right? It's almost all egg. That's why it's such a dream for her. I really want to make it for her. I see. That feeling is the best gift. Let's work hard together. Samantha lightly patted my back. For the omelet, I mixed pureed pumpkin with rice flour and cooked it like a crepe. The appearance resembled a thin omelet, but it was slightly dry and firm. How about adding potato? Ryan suggested as I pondered. Pureed potato could soften the texture a bit. It might be harder to cook, but that's where your skills come in. Apparently, Ryan wanted to get involved but was holding back, as Samantha informed me. Kyle, can you taste this? Samantha held out a sponge cake. Surprisingly, thick soy milk whips up quite well. I think we could make other allergy-friendly sweets. Thanks to Christina. Thanks to Christina? Yes. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't have worked so hard to learn about allergies. Nor would I have thought about making sweets that could be sold at the shop. If we can sell them, not only Christina but others with allergies can enjoy them too. It's a win-win, right? I guess so? Definitely. Thanks to Christina and you, Kyle. Samantha smiled. And her smile was so bright I felt my face turn red. Finally, Christina's birthday arrived. It was a Monday, so the restaurant was closed, and we had it all to ourselves. The restaurant staff and Christina's grandparents were invited. The table was set with all of Christina's favorite foods. Not only I, but the senior chefs had also put in a lot of effort into their dishes. The steak was bound with mashed potatoes and shaped into a bear by Ryan. With a carrot bow tie and radish flowers, it was adorably intricate, and I marveled at how such delicate garnishes came from his big hands. The bread baked by my senior was fluffy and soft, easy to eat. The corn soup was carefully strained, made with soy milk, and garnished with crispy fried potato instead of croutons. The omelet was made of pumpkin and pureed potato, with a star drawn in ketchup, just the way Christina liked. Samantha's cake was beautifully decorated with lots of strawberries, Christina's favorite. Every dish was topped with love for Christina. Kai. Amazing. Can I eat all of this? Yes. Everything here is safe for you to eat. No itching. Really? Even the omelet? Yes, even that one. Yay! I'm so happy. Christina hopped around, smiling brightly. As the party wound down, Christina, full from the meal, was reading a picture book with Samantha. Seeing her delight at each page of the big pop-up book filled me with warmth. Watching them from afar, Ryan took a seat next to me. Christina is really adorable. Kids should always be smiling like that. Ryan's voice was very gentle. Despite his bear-like appearance, he was kind and gentle, especially with his wife and Samantha. After taking a sip of coffee, he began to speak quietly. You heard that Samantha isn't related to us by blood, right? We couldn't have children due to a problem on my side. We adopted Samantha because we wanted a child. She was a bit older than Christina when she came to us. Ryan's eyes narrowed nostalgically. Perhaps seeing a bit of Samantha's past in Christina. Samantha was a good girl but didn't open up to us easily. I felt a wall between us sometimes. But we had a huge fight when she was in second grade. It was over something trivial, but she ran away, and my wife and I searched the whole town for her. When we finally found her, I was truly angry. And we had a heart-to-heart talk. That's when I think she finally opened up to us. After that, we could talk openly. Though her teenage years were full of challenges. Those are good memories. Kids are treasures to their parents, whether related by blood or not. Kyle, you'll be a great parent. Come to me for advice anytime. Ryan patted my back gently. His reassuring presence felt like that of a kind father. Though I never knew my own parents, Ryan embodied what a good father should be. By the way, about Samantha's brother, we found out he went to an orphanage after being taken in by another family. When we heard that, we considered adopting him too. But he refused. This was news even Tom hadn't mentioned to me. Ryan smiled at me. Tom said he didn't want to leave his best friend there. That must be you, right? He knew about our restaurant and brought you here for your birthday. It's like he connected us. Human connections are truly mysterious. Ryan's words left me stunned. Indeed, it was Tom who treated me to a meal here on my birthday. I have no idea what thoughts he had at that time, but the bond he created brought me here, and Christina's smile is proof of that. Although invisible, Tom's legacy felt very present. Thinking about this, my eyes filled with tears. Oh. Kai is crying. What's wrong? Hey, Dad, you can't make Kyle cry. Kai, don't cry. I'm here for you. Christina awkwardly patted my head. It was the same gesture I used to comfort her when she cried. No, I just told Kyle that he and Christina already seem like family to me. That's why we were talking about it. Saying things like that only makes me cry more. Please, don't make me cry. As I said this, laughter filled the room, involving everyone around us. That night, Christina, exhausted from all the fun, fell asleep in a restaurant chair, so she stayed over at Ryan's house. While watching Christina sleep, Samantha spoke quietly. People often say I resemble my parents, so I sometimes forget I'm adopted. Over time, family members start to look alike. I'm grateful to my parents, not just for raising me, but for giving me so much love. I'm sure Christina will feel the same in the future. Kyle. It's clear how much you care about Christina. Are you trying to make me cry too, Samantha? Maybe. But it's the truth. At this rate, when Christina gets married, you'll be crying your eyes out. I can already imagine it. Yeah, I already feel like I don't want to let her go. Ha ha. Samantha laughed heartily, holding her stomach. It felt like the preparations for Christina's birthday party had brought us closer. Compared to before, I felt much more at ease around her now. Perhaps it's because she's Tom's sister. Being with her felt comforting. Kyle, remember when I said I wanted to take in Christina? I still feel that way, but my feelings have changed a bit. Samantha straightened up and looked at me directly. Her tense demeanor made me sit up straight, too. I want to be a family with you and Christina. You mean? Do I have to spell it out? I love you, Kyle. And Christina too. Samantha blushed and looked away. The sudden confession made me dizzy, but I was overjoyed. I realized I had fallen for her too. So, I gently took her hand. Thank you. I love you too, Samantha. I'll never forget the look on her face at that moment. Her smile resembled both Christina's and Tom's, making me smile as well. 20 years have passed since then. I married Samantha and took over Ryan's restaurant. Though Ryan is still going strong. He is flipping pans with vigor. Over these 20 years, we've had our share of challenges, but the warmth of family made every day blissful. However, all good things eventually come to an end. Today, Christina is getting married and leaving home. She's found a trustworthy man and decided to start a family. Her fiancé is a bright and kind person. I'm sure they'll build a happy family together. Christina brought so much happiness into my life. I'll always be grateful to her for saying, I want to live with Kai. I did my best as a guardian, but today, that role comes to an end. At the close of the wedding ceremony, it was time for the bride to read a letter of gratitude to her parents. Kai, Sammy. Just for today, let me call you by the names I used when I was little. The letter began like that, and both Samantha and I were already on the verge of tears. It's embarrassing for the father of the bride to be crying so much. Ryan, as the grandfather, was already bawling. I'm so glad I became part of Oki's family. Sammy, you always cherished me. I'm sure my real mom and dad are at peace in heaven because of you, too. Being your daughter has made me very happy. I've been happy in the past, I am now, and I will be in the future. Thank you so much. Please continue to take care of me. With love, Christina. Christina handed me the letter, smiling through her tears. Christina, thank you so much. Thank you for making me a parent. You are my pride and joy. Saying this, I gently hugged her as I used to. Beside me, Samantha nodded through her tears. The applause from the guests warmly embraced us.